All right.
So I'm here with Jay, right?
Yeah.
So Jay, what brings you to World Beat?
Well, I'm here to do Aztec dancing. We were here yesterday morning, and we were under the rain, but we were still out here. We danced again on the stage, and then we came again today. Spread our culture. Just remind people that there's indigenous people on the south side of the border, of the northern border. Yeah.
And I really appreciate that you did that, right? And here's why. Because as I see you all walk by in your full regalia, right?
Yeah.
You walk differently. There's a sense of pride. There's a sense of culture. There's a sense of power.
Yes, there is.
In the dance that you do.
There is. Yes,
and
there is.
it's just, there's no way to not feel that energy as you all are approaching.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in this in the first place?
Well, I've always been around it. As I was growing up, I never really had time to do it. My family was always super busy. Not until I was in my sophomore year of high school, I was like, you know what? I actually have time to do this now. And so that's why I became more involved. I became more active in my community. My family, well, I know it's Aztec dancing, but there's a lot of tribes are contributed into the Aztec dancing. We use Aztec dancing as more of a movement. Yes, there's people that have been part of Aztec nations before. But we use it as a sort of movement now. For example, my family is Otomi and Purepecha, from the northern side of Mexico. But we were able to find comfort, and we're able to be able to like express ourselves within the Aztec ways, and we're able to contribute what we know to keep moving forward within the Aztec community. A lot of people are part of different tribes. I'm not really sure what other tribes are part of, but we all try to in sort of movement, try to remind people that there is, like I said, indigenous people on the south side of the northern border. And it's just pride, man. It's just pride. A lot of resistance. 500 years, man. 500 years is just resistance. We got to walk with pride, and we got to walk with with joy, knowing that we're able to continue doing what we do. Yeah.
And I appreciate that so much, because I would imagine with all of the different tribes, you're still touching on this lineage, this ancestral knowledge that's been passed down from generation.
Yeah.
So even though there's tribes and there's still this embracing of the culture at the beginning where we recognize that we're here and the suffering we had to endure, and our voices will no longer be silenced.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So how important is it to have spaces like this where you can showcase your dance?
We love taking up space. We love taking up space. Anywhere that we can showcase our culture, we're honored to do it. Especially, we always look forward to World Beat. We're always coming out. For example, last year, we were so glad that we were able to showcase indigenous peoples, because last year it was focusing on indigenous peoples, and we were able to make a play on stage, kind of like a little storytelling, story, like a little story as to like in the beginning and how it's going and how we're doing. It was past, present, future. At the very end, I think of our play, we showed a baby, and so this baby showcases tribes from both northern tribes and southern tribes. And so we were like, he is the future of indigenous peoples, going forward. And also there's this prophecy of the condor and the eagle, and so that was basically the prophecy being fulfilled. That's both northern and southern tribes, in one baby. And so it was just amazing. And we're always glad. I'm always glad to, be showing our culture in whatever way that we can, even if it's the smallest way, just by selling things or vending, or even just walking around with my face paint on. It's just, we're just so prideful, it's so great. Yeah.
And what does it mean to you when you see your culture outside of your community?
I really don't have words. I'm just super glad that we're, everyone's able to do Aztec dancing. Some Aztec groups, the thing is that it's a conformity, right? There's multiple Aztec groups, but we all, for example, here in Oregon, we all share the same ways. Some, for example, California, it's the epicenter of Aztec dancing. but the thing is that they sometimes do things a little bit differently, because it went from Mexico to California, and then eventually in the 1970s, 1980s, it came up to Oregon. But there's California is more like it's less mixed with Catholicism, and
Yeah.
Oregon it's a little bit more like it's more Catholic and indigenous ways kind of combined. Um, but in whatever way that they're able to represent our culture, whether it's with mixed with religious stuff, or whether it's not mixed with religious stuff, we're still doing it, right? We're still doing it, and we're doing it in the best manner that we can, in the best way that we can, and the way that we were taught. So it's just it makes me happy. It really does. It really makes me happy. Yeah.
And then when it comes to like the face paint, is there like some like guidelines as to how you paint your face?
Not necessarily. I feel like a lot of people try to, they just kind of paint their face. But my people's one of my tribes, they're part of the Chichimec Nation, and so I try to like stick with that, stick with Chichimec face paintings, or war paint. But I mean, I'm not really sure about everyone else, but I try to do that. I try to represent my people with my regalia, with my face paint, as well as my family as well. We try to like represent our peoples, whether even though we're doing Aztec dancing, but we still try to represent our peoples. Whether it's face paint or regalia, we try to represent as much as we can. For example, like my regalia is both a combination of both cultures or both tribes. I try to like involve both of them in my regalias and what I wear.
So do you
So
make your own?
I do,
That's
yes.
so awesome.
Yeah, I make my own regalias. Everything, whether it comes to the headpieces, to the like the drops, whether like feather work as well, leather work. I try to do as much as I can, because in our Chichimec people's ways, we're taught to use every single part of the animal, right?
Yeah.
And so when it comes to hides and stuff like that, or leather, we try to like use that as much as we can, and also like use it onto our regalias. And so our Chichimec people were known to be nomads, so I try to like use that a lot to was like
Kind of like
just
to
like
help tell the story,
yeah,
right?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the last question, it's the only kind of hard question I ask in this
Yeah.
podcast. If you were to think about your own culture, what is one piece of your own culture that you want people to know that you love?
I love praying, man. I love praying, and dancing is a prayer, and I just want everyone to know that it's not necessarily like a performance. We're all praying in our own way. Some people prefer praying by drumming. Some people prefer praying by dancing, but everyone is letting go of all that, everything that they're holding in. What they're sweating it out, and also they're in their mind, they're like like just praying, and it's beautiful, and I want people to know that's not a performance. It's not a performance. I mean, I get that we're everywhere and we try to take a space, right? But it's a prayer. It's definitely a prayer, and we love doing it. We love praying. I love praying. It's honestly the best way that has helped me continue going forward in life, because it gives me something to look forward to. It
Yeah.
definitely gives me something to look forward to, um and I just try to do try to be as active as I can, try to be as active. Yeah.
Well, and to wrap things up, I just want to say thank you. Thank
Yeah, of
you,
course. Thank
one,
you for
for
having
being
me.
this interview, but
Yeah.
two, thank you for bringing your culture and bringing your dance.
Yeah.
And I hope it never goes away.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
It's
it.
beautiful. So I'm here with Ro. Ro, thank you very much for joining us today. What brings you to World Beat?
I love World Beat. It's the best place to visit the world in Salem and never leaving, downtown.
Why is it important for places like this and events like this to be a part of our community?
I think especially now, but World Beat in general has been going on for about 27 years. So, but especially now, I think cultural awareness is the biggest thing. I think ignorance is the biggest breeding of the hate that is surrounding us, and I'm not for that. So,
And I totally agree, right? Because hate is one, an intentional choice.
Mhm.
And two, it's usually tied to the fact that you don't know anything about the other person.
Yeah.
Because as people, we have way more in common than we have things that separate us. So why is it important, though, to have like a space like this where it's safe and everybody's welcome?
To remember that we are like human beings. I think that's the biggest thing. We're told, in some type of way daily that certain people aren't. And
Mhm.
that's just not true. We are all human beings that come from different cultures and different places, and all of that like really just needs to be like reclaimed and just showed. And I think the people out here showing their love for their traditions and their history, I think that's really amazing.
And that really resonates with me a lot. As somebody that has autism, there's an interesting phenomenon occurs.
Mhm.
The minute that you tell somebody that you're autistic, 99% of the time you're treated differently.
Mhm.
This is not necessarily bad, not necessarily better, not necessarily worse, but reality is 99% of the time you're treated differently because of this one subset of your culture. And if we can just get around that and just like approach people with kindness and just like sincere curiosity, I think we could have better conversation amongst people.
No, I agree. I'm also autistic as well. And being Black and Ojibwe, there comes in a lot of intersectionality that comes with that. That it just needs understanding. People of every color and everybody can be different, can be neurodivergent, and there's nothing at all wrong with that. We're all just trying to honestly make it to the end of the day. So,
Right? But how important is it, though, for you to see your culture represented outside of your community?
I think it's amazing. When I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of representation of Native people, of Black people, especially with natural hairstyles. It was really hard growing up, thinking that you're not beautiful or you're not worthy or you're not a part of the world because you're not seen on TV and media and places like that. So having a festival like World Beat where all these cultures come together, you can see everybody from around the world just represented. And the more that is being done, especially in media that surrounds us, is phenomenal. I think it's great that the children here get to see themselves and get to see different cultures and recognize how big the world is when there's a lot of people trying to make it very small.
And it seems like those voices are the ones that get the loudest volume.
Yes, and that is unfortunate. That's why World Beat is loud and you can hear it downtown and you should wonder and question what's happening at Riverfront Park and then get down here and then see. And I think that's really a huge step is just being louder than those voices because there's definitely more of us who are accepting and want like literal world peace. Like I was saying, like this is like what world peace could be on a
Right?
global scale. People could just enjoy each other and their cultures and traditions and learn something and celebrate it. And and it doesn't have to be anything more than that.
Yeah.
So it's completely possible. So, and World Beat is one amazing example about Kathleen Fisher. She's the executive director of World Beat, and she's just done an amazing thing here.
And one of the things that caught my eye as you were walking down was your amazing outfit.
Oh, thank
Does
you.
it have any sort of significance? Like, where did you get that?
Oh gosh, I got it here at World Beat at one of the tents in the African village. From what I can tell is that they make stuff handmade. So these are all original designs. They're also having a fashion show later on today at 4 p.m.
It's supposed to be in it.
Yeah. No, they asked me to be in it too. I got this yesterday and it was just, I don't know, it feels just really good. I feel a part of the diaspora of Africans. And it makes me feel really close to a home that I never knew.
And a lot of my audience is the neurodivergent space, right? And a lot of them are reluctant to come here because they think that this is going to be a sensory stressful environment. Can you put that to bed? Because I've been trying to this whole time.
Yeah, no, I initially came yesterday with my headphones because sometimes the speakers hurt my ears, so I wear them around. Nobody's like judging. And if they are, we're at a festival.
Yeah.
I think there's a new tent this year that has like a sensory section where you can
right next door.
Yeah, where you can step out of it. I think that's an amazing addition to make this a lot more accessible, because there are loud noises, but it's, we're downtown, we're at a park. You're able to step out, you're able to walk away, you're able to come back. As long as you have your little wristbands, you're good to come back in. And I think if you need a timeout because it does get overwhelming, there's no judgment for that. There's no judgment.
And I like how far they place the booths from each other,
Mm-hmm.
so that you're not walking in front or in between or like on top of anybody the whole
Yeah.
time you're here.
Yeah.
I love that they're intentional about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's really spaced out. Working on the planning, I know how long it takes them to decide where everything is, so everybody is comfortable. So they try their best to make World Beat as accessible as possible for everybody. And that's, again, another amazing part of that acceptance that happens here.
And then the last question that we've been asking everybody, is there like a family tradition or a piece of your a piece of your culture that you really enjoy?
So I was raised by my mother, who's First People from Canada. We're from Lake St. Martin in Winnipeg, Montana. I forgot the name of that thing, but it's in Canada anyway. And I grew up eating like fry bread all the time. My mom does different ways of making it. Fry bread has a long history, especially as a staple when reservations came on there. I love my personal favorite part about World Beat is the food. I think so much history can be told with it, and for fry bread and Native American, especially in my household, it was a very huge cultural tradition that has been there, as well as making bannock. I cook a lot of bison pot roast. Got to learn how to do this Midwest style. So that is one of my favorites. Is just the food, and I'm really excited. There's an Ethiopian place, Grisha.
It's so good.
Ethiopian place. They're
it's
here.
So good.
They're also on River Road near the Freddy's, going into Kaiser. They have an amazing setup. So it's just so much diversity in Salem. It's hidden in these little pockets, but being able, when you're able to find it, greet it, and be open to that.
Well, thank you very much for spending time with us today.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Come on down to the World Beat, folks. You'll have a blast, and it's a safe place for both you and your family.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. This is amazing. Thank you.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being. What brings you to World Beat?
It's really new.
Yeah.
Invited them to because of a coach I've known. He's been doing volunteering.
Find a way to get you closer to that microphone because I can't hear you. There we go.
Yeah.
I would my wallet. Go for it.
But the reason I've kind of figured out like where Beat Fest is because of my coach and my sister. And my sister, because she first started like volunteering here, so she took me once, and then I thought it was fun, so I invited this guy last year, and it was a lot of fun. And then we did this yesterday. We went out here yesterday, and then we were talking with Atham and we were playing games together, and he wanted to come too, so we came out today too.
So, what has been your favorite part of being here so far?
Spending time with each other. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
For me, definitely seeing like how culture around the world works, and like seeing how everybody's own culture is very unique in their own way.
So, why is it important that you all see your culture outside of your community?
For me, definitely it's so that other people definitely can see our own culture and get to like experience it their own way. But that's for me.
Yeah, other people should learn other people's cultures so they can understand each other's way, sort of.
Yeah.
We should just learn about people in general.
Yeah, I think it's really just a learning process to understand other people, because I feel like we can't learn about other people unless we know what they're from or like respect what they want to do.
And it's hard to respect if you don't know.
Yeah.
And most of the hate and most of the divisiveness is because somebody doesn't know something about somebody else. Because what I have found, I don't know if you all experience this too, people who know people are kind to people. Let me rephrase that. It's so much easier to be kind to people than it is not to be kind. And most of the time when people aren't kind, it's because they're ignorant. And so how important is it for you all to have spaces like this where everybody can come together and just be themselves?
I think it's really important because, like you were saying, it's easier to be kind than it is to be rude because you would have to look for something to be rude about. But it's easier to be kind because you could just look at them right away and be like, that's what I like about them, you know?
Yeah.
And I think culture helps with that because it lets you learn about that person and see who they really are and see like ways to be more nice to them instead of just wanting to pick at the bad things.
What was the question? I forgot.
About why it's important to like have a space where you can come and just be yourself and have fun.
Oh yeah, that's really important. If you don't express yourself, you're probably gonna feel sad. Like it's important to express yourself to other people so people get to know you and learn about you. Like if you like playing the instrument, but you don't show that off, whenever you get the chance to play in front of people, you're probably gonna get scared and not gonna be able to do it. So you should just learn play in small groups in front of people and then get bigger and bigger so you get comfortable.
Yeah, it's like what he said. It's good to express yourself, and like he said, like if you be yourself in like a big crowd, for example, it gives you more confidence like in public, and it lets you express yourself more confidently, obviously, to normal people and to normal living environments too.
Yeah, all the way around, right? Yeah. So I guess the next question is what's been your favorite part of World Beat so far?
For me, definitely seeing everybody's culture around the world and also the food. The food all around the world is nice. Also nice to experience to see how different food can be from your own culture, and then being able to learn how how other people's how other people like their own food, like from their own culture.
My favorite part so far is the food, like he said. Um, Mostly just spending time with these two. It's really fun.
Same for you, or you guys?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. The food is really good.
So
And
what? Go ahead.
the hanging out with my friends is really fun because like it's just being with someone or like being with new people or like experiencing new things is like it just changes a lot of things. It's like doing something by yourself isn't as fun as doing it with someone else. So you have
Yeah.
someone accompanying you.
Because you want to have somebody that you can share that moment in time with. Because all of these, it's these kind of memories are always going to be better when you're around friends.
Yeah.
Always. So talk a little. So the last question I'll ask, and it's the hardest question I ask on this podcast: if there is something about your culture that you love, what would that be? Yeah.
For me, there's something in our culture that happens whenever somebody turns 15 called a quinceañera. Hmm. That that is like one of the biggest events in your life. It mostly happens when you're a female, and that is like one of the best parties and like experience you'll ever live in that culture and my culture, which is a really good way to express. And even sometimes, even if you open invite it and you let other people like come in and see what a quinceañera is all about, it really like helps other people show what what Mexican culture is about.
That's a hard question. Something important.
Not something important, just something that you love. Like, is there a family tradition that your family does every year that you're like, can't imagine like not living without that tradition? Whether that's Christmas, birthdays, holidays.
Yeah, you can go.
I would say something I love about my culture isn't anything like crazy like holidays or quinces. It's the family. I think family is so important, especially in your culture, because you learn a lot from your family. If you don't have a family, you're not gonna have anything else to build off. You're gonna have to build off other things. But if you have a family, you can build off, see what's right from wrong, and you learn a lot more.
I would say Thanksgiving more than Christmas, just because Thanksgiving you actually spend time with your family. Like Christmas, you do spend time with your family, but like you guys are more
Wanting gifts.
wanting gifts, which might get away from being with your family. With Thanksgiving, you just eat at a table, eating dinner all together, like talking about your everyday life, which I really like.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
When you're eating Thanksgiving, what kind of food's on the table?
Tamales.
Ah. What else?
Definitely not turkeys for me.
Turkey's okay.
For me, probably like pasta. What's called eggs. Sometimes as tamales, like he said, and pozole. It's a soup.
Y'all, if you've never had pozole, you're missing out. That's all I'm saying.
Just like Eitan said, I don't really have turkey, but we get birria tacos, sometimes, sweet potatoes, mac and cheese, and that's mostly all I can think about.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, the mashed potatoes. Oh yeah, those are fire.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by today. Come on down, check out the World Beat. It's a lot of fun, and thank you very much for being here.
Yeah.
Got camera situated. Harley and Judah, thank you very much for being here today. What brings you to World Beat?
I was at his house just hanging out, and then my parents just sent me a link to this place, and then took us.
Yeah. So he was just at my house, and then his grandparents were like, "Hey, you want to go to the World Beat, whatever it's called?" And when I was like, "Yeah."
Have you been having fun so far?
Yeah,
What's your favorite thing?
definitely. There's a shop over there that has a bunch of Nitos, and it's really cool. Like some rare ones, like the Dr. Pepper ones, and
Okay,
Other
I'm
ones.
going to need some help. What is a Nito?
that.
Oh, those are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are the ones where you can squish it, but then it
Mhm.
comes back to the original
Yeah.
shape, right?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And the Dr. Pepper one is really rare, and they had a bunch of rare ones, so I bought one.
So what other, have you had a chance to see any of the dances? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like we passed by it, but
Yeah.
Yeah, passed by and glanced at it, but that's it.
What about other places and other things?
really, we haven't done much. But
Yeah.
we did some karate or whatever it's called.
Martial
Oh,
arts.
that's cool.
Yeah, they were having people break boards, so we tried that.
Did you break a board?
Yeah,
We broke all of them.
How hard was it? Yeah.
really hard.
It
Yeah.
was not hard at all.
The
You're
last
supposed to go with him on that. It's really hard. It was really it took all my strength, right?
Yeah.
So, when you come to a place like this, how important is it that you're safe and you feel like you can be accepted for who you are?
Important.
really important, yeah.
And so when you come here and you're with friends and stuff like that, do you have a lot of room to run around?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no one else is running, so we're not gonna run.
That's fair.
If
So-
everybody was running, I would be sprinting because my sprint is about as fast as a normal person's run. So
So what do you guys like to do outside of here? So what do you guys like to do for fun?
baseball.
Yeah, baseball.
Okay.
For sure.
So do you guys play on a sport, on a team?
Yeah.
yeah.
What position do you play?
I'm center field.
I'm shortstop.
And I'm also third base, but
So
I'm better.
shortstop is the most valuable position on the field.
Yeah.
So in terms of like practicing shortstop and all that stuff, do they like hold you out like more often than others?
Not really, no.
Yeah. What is it about shortstop that you like?
Just how much action we get and all that.
How about you?
Center field is really fun because if a ball comes to you, my whole team knows I'm catching it. But yeah, I like third base kind of more.
Okay.
Just because there's more action at third, and at the level that we play, there's not very much action in center. Just in the outfield, genuinely.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then are you guys playing softball or hardball?
Hardball.
Yeah.
Sweet. So what's your favorite pitch to hit?
It depends because, well, actually, our league, really most people only pitch fastballs, like
Okay.
2 and 4 seam.
Yeah.
But there's one pitcher, I hit a home run off of him. He threw a curveball right down the middle. In a tournament too, so
That's awesome.
yeah,
So do you guys like watch a lot of ball too?
I do.
Yeah.
But it's not like MLB as much. It's more of like there's Pottstown. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Pottstown. They're a 13U team, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I also play video games for baseball.
Yeah, same.
Which video game's your favorite? For
Baseball 9.
Baseball 9?
Yeah, baseball 9.
Interesting. So what is the benefit of baseball 9 over like MLB?
It's just fun.
Yeah, it's
Just funner?
Yeah.
So for other kids out there who are thinking about maybe not coming to this event, what would you tell them?
come.
Do it and bring $20.
Yeah, bring $20 for a Dr. Pepperonito.
And then is there any food you all are looking forward to having?
Boba, for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. And they have the Hawaiian shaved ice over there too. That's just awesome. Yeah, and it's only $5. Well, thank you very much for being here today.
Yeah.
We hope you have fun, and come on down to World Beat, y'all. There's still time. Thank you so much.
Now, come down now.
So, Froggy, what brings you to the World Beat today?
Oh, well, I'm here working with Northwest School of Music. I'm the receptionist there. Sorry. My apologies.
You're good.
And I'm just kind of hanging out. It's my first time here at World Beat, so it's very interesting to see everything that's going on.
And I love that because that's an interesting, so let me pause. Sometimes my autistic brain gets the best in.
Hey, that's okay.
I'm super excited about that because most people that I talk to have been here 5, 6, 7 times.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm curious about your perspective as somebody that's never been here.
Yeah.
Like, what was your first impression when you came?
I mean, it was mostly like awe. Like I was so jazzed by everything that's happening around here. I've been gone for a while in California for college, and I just graduated and I started working for like a music school, and I'm just like, it's so phenomenal to get to be surrounded by all these people like appreciating music and performing it and just sharing it with everyone. It's so nice.
And why are spaces like this important for our community, do you think?
I think it's like really important to have these like open spaces that are just like free and welcoming for people to attend. And it's really hard these days, I think, to have open spaces that you don't have to worry about being forced to leave eventually, or like you aren't necessarily welcome, like you need to buy something per se. Like you're not there's often a purpose to a location you have to be in, and here it's genuinely just community and sharing things and being around with people.
And I love the fact that there's no pressure here.
Oh yeah.
You know?
It's so beautiful.
And I say that from somebody who has autism.
Mm-hmm.
And some spaces I'm not allowed to be because it's just too much.
Oh yeah.
And the way this is structured is there's plenty of space and you're not on top of people.
Oh yeah, I love it. I really like how it's spaced out.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so easy to go somewhere and then it's quiet.
And then you can, if you really want the noise, you can go and get right into it. It's been really fantastic. And like the booth that I'm in right now, there's like a lot of kids that are playing and trying all these new instruments. And it's just interesting. It's fun. I'm not used to being around people very often. I'm an artist, so I'm often like locked away in a little hole drawing all the time. And so being around people, it's nice.
And so I'm curious from your perspective too, right? Because a space like this is one of the most welcoming spaces for you. As somebody who comes to the event the first time, have you noticed the same thing that I've noticed? There's not a single frown anywhere to be seen.
Yeah, I have noticed that. Like everyone is just like the moment you lock eyes with someone, there's like a smile. Or
Yeah.
like the people are just like abstractly walking, just kind of like grooving and smiling. They're soaking in the sun or they're getting wet by the rain and they're still somehow happy about it. I mean, it's Oregon, but
Yeah. At the same time, though, it's like, come as you are, you're welcome here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, it doesn't matter how you're experiencing the festival, you're allowed to experience it.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you want. Yeah.
And at your own pace, at your own time.
It's really beautiful. I'm excited to come back next year.
Yeah.
I want to get the full experience.
So you're volunteering over at the music space, right? Which is awesome, by the way. How did you get involved with that group?
Yeah, because I graduated from college, I was unemployed for quite a while, and they were needing a new receptionist. So I ended up like interviewing there. And though I'm not personally a musician, I love music, and it's like so important to like my art process and like making comics and like illustrations. It's like pivotal to the whole process. And so just like working with them and like helping them like teach students or like adults music has both like helped my process as well as just like expanded my mind to new things. I've really appreciated my time.
And then you say something interesting because like you as an artist, right? And one of the things that I always say to parents who have children who are on the spectrum is that art and music are the pathways to friendship and connection.
Yes.
Because they don't care who you are. They just want you there to be active in art at any level.
Exactly.
And so like from your perspective as an artist, like how did you get into that art space? What was it about art that called you in the first place?
I guess like I'm also on the spectrum, and when I was younger, it's like that was like the way that was easiest to communicate with people. It was just like it was really hard to vocalize and verbalize how I was feeling, and art was like the perfect way to express that and then share stories. And I don't know, I think it's really important to be able to share that kind of aspect with people, and it lets people talk to you too, and really understand them in a different, maybe not necessarily intimate way, but like it's all in here, and then it gets out there.
Which I appreciate because like that's an interesting perspective that you have, because I almost have the same perspective with music because there'll be times when you want to have an emotionally charged conversation, right? About whatever you're going through.
Right.
And you can't verbalize it in the moment.
Oh yeah.
But there's a song for that.
There's something for it.
And so I just text somebody a song like, hey, I'm going through something right now. Here's a song. This is exactly what I'm going through.
Exactly.
And I'll go sift through until I find the exact lyrics. And it's helped me communicate to so many people because you have this avenue that you can't do in moments.
Oh yeah. Like you find something by The Cure and you're like, these lyrics, bam, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
So when you're talking about artists and you're talking about like art itself, you had mentioned sort of like the anime piece of it, right? Like what other avenues of art do you focus
on? I mostly make graphic novels. So like when I'm not working there, I'm working on like graphic novels, or just comics, on the way. And actually for the school, I actually have some on me. I make zines, which are meant to be art that can be freely shared. And so here, I'll give you some. These are some that I made for the school.
How cool is that?
And they're like little comics. Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I wasn't. I really wanted to go, though. Oh, I love zines. It's one of my favorite things to share art with people because they're meant to be accessible and free and easy to make and just like a way to share community and information in a cute little way that's like full artistic freedom.
See, and that's perfect, right? I love the level of detail.
I have a really good time. It's one of the things that I loved to do in college was to just like work tirelessly on zines. Like, one of my special interests is Radiohead. And so, I made like for Tom York's birthday, like a bunch of zines for Radiohead. And I had everyone come to my classroom to come get the zines. And I was like, take them. It was just fun.
And so, like, when you're at these, when you're at this music space, right, and you're watching people come in, one of the things that I love about a space like that is everybody at every level is welcome.
Yes.
How important is it to have spaces where everybody is welcome?
It's pivotal. It is like it's so easy in the world that I think that we live in for people to become isolated and to lose support and lose kind of like a part of themselves too, because they're not allowed to be like a person in a lot of ways. And then they can't share that connection with someone. And so they lose that aspect of life that I think is so important. And having a space that's so wide and freeing like this lets you kind of like, I don't know, get the whole experience. And I think it really helps people like keep going and find hope and want to work better and harder to make things for themselves and others like happier.
And how important is it for you to see people like you represented outside of your community?
It definitely, for the hope aspect, it can be really hard sometimes to like get up in the morning and think that things are going to be okay. But seeing people still like making stuff happen, still seeing people day to day, it helps me stay inspired. It helps me like want to get up every day. And I don't know, it's very comforting to know that no matter what, there's still someone out there working hard to share with others.
I appreciate that so much, right? It was one of the reasons I started this podcast is because I got tired of being the autistic guy. Now I'm a podcaster who just happens to have autism.
Score.
And that's a difference in a view. Even though nothing about me has changed, nothing about my life has changed. But when you put a label on somebody, it confines them in the other person's eyes. And so in places like this where you can represent and get out there, it changes people's perspective because a lot of people, like you were talking about this day and age, have this very narrow view of everybody.
Yes.
But that's not us.
Exactly.
We're different than what you see on TV. We are like a community of people that rely on each other. So every time I hear rugged, I'm sorry, this is like the 16th time you heard this today, everybody. But every time I hear somebody say this is all about rugged individualism, but yet you have a phone. It's not rugged individualism.
No.
1,000 people built that phone.
Yes.
So we are a community and we need to work on community first.
Exactly. I feel like the exact same way because it's like all these experiences that we've had has happened for like centuries, thousands of years, and it's just happening over and over again, but in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's just like we're not alone in our experiences, and you are allowed to go and talk to people, and you should be and experience people beyond like casual conversations. Those are great too, but like it's like there are people out there, and they will be happy to see you. You know?
Yeah. And I will challenge this to anybody. If you have never experienced autism joy, you are missing out. Because people on the spectrum experience joy differently. You know, I equate it to like a dog. You know, you have some dogs where their tails wag, and you have other dogs where the tail wags the entire dog. Autism joy is when the whole body takes over. You can't control it. You're just a beaming ray of light, and you just overstimulate. Everything is just boom.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been like when you're just like you're going super hard. You're like yes, and you're having like such a good time, and it's like it's almost overwhelming. Like you don't know how to contain it. Like you have to move, it's such a good time. I love it.
Well, and the last hard question, it's not really a hard question, but it's a hard question apparently. Is there something about your culture or something about a tradition that you have that you would like to share?
Oh, gee, let me think. I guess one thing is that like similar to what you're doing with like sharing lyrics and like that's how you like communicate to people. That is like such an important way that I show that I love someone as well, is like I curate like playlists and stuff like that. And I try to like curate the like the lyrics and the sound and like the genres towards that person. And it's just kind of important to me that like with each person that I become close to, I share that moment with them where I'm like, I'm trying to see them and meet them halfway. And even better, if the playlist is collaborative and so they can add their own thing to it. I don't know. I love sharing music with people and it's great. I don't know if that answers your question. But...
It sure does.
Okay.
Yeah, Froggy, thank you so much for being here today. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
All right.
And welcome back. We're here with Stephanie. Stephanie, what brings you to World Beat today?
Oh, well, I just love culture and inclusion. So we came out today for some sunshine and A little hand henna.
That is amazing. How long did that take?
About 6 minutes.
6 minutes, and that ornate.
Yeah.
Is there anything like you can and can't do with that now?
No, she said just wait about 45 minutes and then I can wash it off and it should dry on there as a beautiful design.
That's awesome. So how important is it for you to have spaces like this where we celebrate all kinds of different cultures?
It's very important for me. I am a parent of an autistic child, and finding places that are accepting of all people and just diversity, it's super important, and I just love it.
And I really appreciate that perspective too, because like the one thing that I love about World Beat is that with the way they place everything, it's not like a sensory environment where you're like in top of people and running into people. And so if you have a child who's autistic, you don't have to worry so much about them being in confined spaces.
Right. Yeah, we've had a lot of opportunities just to sneak inside of a, tented area and cool down and kind of have some quiet times and maybe do a podcast.
I love it. So in terms of like this space here, right? How important is it to you that we acknowledge the different communities and the different cultures in our society?
I feel like it is very important for us to acknowledge our different cultures in society because a lot of people do have judgment based on what people don't know about others. And it hits home when it's in our communities, in our neighborhoods. Every neighbor, every individual has their own beliefs and way of celebrating things. And so kind of just getting to attend an event like this and this brings us all together.
And then what's been your favorite thing so far with this event?
Well, obviously the henna.
That's fair.
Yeah. I do like all different types of cultured foods.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been fun, just smelling the different flavors that are out there in the air, aromas. Also the music. So just walking to a different beat today.
And how about the importance of just being able to be present as your authentic self?
Of course, that's always important in each day. So not just on the World Beat Day, but yes.
And the reason I bring it up is because as somebody on the autism spectrum, more often than not, I have to mask to exist. Right. And so in spaces like this, I can just be authentically autistic. If I need to wear my sunglasses, if I need to wear my headphones, like I can just be.
Yeah.
And it's so freeing.
Yes.
To just be and accepted for who you are.
Yes. I do appreciate that. I noticed that a lot of people are out, wearing their cultural clothes or their tie-dyes, and we're all just kind of just loving each other.
And then in terms of like the parenting aspect of it,
Mhm.
right? Because sometimes it does take a village to raise us, right?
Mhm.
What would you want other people to know, and from your perspective as a parent, about why it's important not to judge your child?
It's important as a parent not to judge my child.
Not you,
Okay.
other people. I'm not worried about you as a mom judging your child.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how important it is that other people don't judge your child.
Oh. Yeah, I just want him to only know love and kindness. So I love when others are patient and understanding. And even at this event, I kind of know which types of places he'll be most comfortable. So we kind of lean towards them, which is why we found this place.
And
Josiah,
then,
do you want to say anything? What would you like to say?
I feel that.
say that one more time.
Conka Buster.
I love it. And then is there something else you're looking forward to while you're here?
No, just finding some food next. That's our next mission.
Sad X. Crying X.
All right.
What's his favorite cartoon?
Do we have a favorite cartoon?
Yeah.
What is it?
Cartoon movie.
Okay. Do you like the new Toy Story 6?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to see that again in theaters? Yeah, we really enjoyed the new Toy Story 6. He's actually been playing with his stuffed animal. Oh, is it Toy Story 5? Yeah, the latest and greatest one that's out there. Sorry, mom brain. But yeah, Toy Story 5 that's out. He's been bringing his stuffed animals out more and just interacting with them. So it's been a really good influence of a movie. Focusing on friendships too.
Yeah. And then the last question I'll ask, is there a family tradition or something about your culture that you love that you would like other people to know?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm from a Latina culture and we do tamales on Christmas.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's probably my favorite time of the year. We make homemade salsas, homemade cooking, and then just a lot of togetherness for holidays.
Thank you so much for being here today. We'll let you get back to the event.
All right.
Remember, people, just be kind.
Be kind.
And welcome back. We're here with Leilani. Leilani, what brings you to World Beat today?
Volunteering.
And how long have you been volunteering?
2 days.
2 days?
Yeah.
So is this your first time at World Beat?
Yeah.
So I love this perspective, right? Because most of the people that I've talked to since I've been here 6 years, 7 years in a row. So from somebody who's just got here, what do you see? What are the things that are wow, this is a cool thing?
There's a lot of people, which is nice. There's a lot of different people. Instead of it just being one region, there's a whole bunch of nations on just everywhere, and it's cool.
Let's pause for one moment. We got 2 more horns to go. Yep. One more.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and we're back, folks. Gotta love the train. So why is it important that we have events like this where everybody's culture is celebrated?
For me personally, I think it's important that we all celebrate each other's cultures, because we're not meant to be here to be against each other. We're not here to be like, oh, we don't like you. We're here to support each other and uplift each other.
Yeah. And how important is it to have a space like this where you can just be yourself?
It's really important, actually, because not many people are able to express themselves the way they want to.
And is there a significance between the flower and the hair?
No.
That's fair.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It means I'm single.
Okay. That's fair. And from your perspective, though, how important is it for you to see your culture represented outside of your own community?
It's nice. It's nice to see that because it shows that not everyone is it shows that we're not all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I'm from a Mexican family, so people misunderstand that they think that we're bad, or they think some are just horrible because they're from Mexico, but that's not what it all seems. You have to understand the picture in order to get the frame.
And usually when people have that sort of opinion, it's out of ignorance and not understanding the culture.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I love about your culture that you just identified with is this connection to family and love.
Yeah.
And a lot of people miss that piece of it. And so when you're talking negatively about anybody's culture, it means one thing: you don't know anything about their culture.
Yeah.
Because we have way more in common as a people than anybody does as a part.
Oh, yeah.
And so from your perspective, are you hopeful for the future that we're all kind of sort of rally around each other?
Not really, to be honest.
That's fair.
Considering the powerfulness of this world, it doesn't seem to be going that great for everyone. So, I mean, it's the future, so I mean, who knows? I could be wrong. It could go great. But who knows? Yeah.
And it's interesting because the piece that I don't understand is that hate is intentional.
Yeah.
You've made a choice to view that way.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how people can just make that choice.
Exactly.
It's so much easier just to be kind.
It is. Yeah. It really is.
And so as you're out and about in the community, like how important is it for you to have these spaces where people are just kind and welcoming and opening up their lives with open arms?
It's really good because like as a teenager, it's like it's hard to express yourself and it's hard to be out there. And it's just nice to see other people not putting anyone down. And I've seen so many like different type of people here today, like elderlies or younger people, and they just all have been getting along really well. And it's been nice not seeing anyone like bullying or shoving around someone.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens a lot. Like, believe it or not, it happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad to see.
Well,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that perspective too, right? As somebody that is autistic, the amount of bullying that goes on for people that have disabilities
Yeah.
is huge. And I don't want to see anybody have to go through that bullying experience because
Yeah.
it's not right.
Yeah, I agree because like I've been put through a little bit here and there with like people that I used to be friends with, and it just wasn't a great feeling because like one moment they're like, "Oh, we're best friends," and then the next they're just putting me down and making me feel horrible, and I don't think that's fair for anyone to go through. Like it like for me, it's if someone treats me wrong, I still give them chances. Like I believe that there's good in people no matter what. Like you could be the worst person ever, and yet I would still believe that there's still good in you.
Yeah, because there's this philosophy out there that hurt people are the ones that hurt people.
Yeah.
And if you look at it like this person, you can't control what somebody else thinks or says.
Oh yeah.
All you can control is the level of kindness you have. And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I always tend to lead with kindness and give the person the other shot. And if
Yeah.
they're not kind back, I just walk away. You're not
Yeah.
worth my time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Like if you're if you're gonna be rude constantly, then it just makes sense to just leave them alone.
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
if you wouldn't like to like um sorry
No.
like you wouldn't like being treated the way that you're treating others. Like you could be treating someone downright wrong, and yet you would expect them not to do that back to you. So whenever they do, they could hurt you and you'd be like, "Oh, why are you acting like this?" But you have to think about your actions, think about your heart posture. Just be mindful of how you treat others.
And then the last question I have is the only kind of hard question that I asked today.
Okay.
What is something about your culture that you love that you think people should know?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I think it's the dancing, because dancing is a lot in the Mexican culture, like with quinceañeras or just little get-togethers. It means a lot because like you're still there, you're having fun, and like it's just really fun, and it's good to know about because that's what most of not all of what the Mexican culture is, but most of it. It's based off dancing, food, and a lot of other stuff.
And the last thing I will add, in terms of something about your culture that I love, is the connection to family
Oh,
and
yes.
connectivity to each other.
Yeah.
So, like, if you haven't been to an event or been around a family gathering of this culture, you are missing out.
Oh, yeah.
Because the amount of love, the amount of connection, and the amount of like attention to each other is just something amazing to see.
Yeah, big time. Like it's 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 a big family, and just you'll miss out on a lot if you don't hang out and stuff. And it's just great. Yeah. Everything is great, to be honest. You have to make it great in order for it to be great. That's what I think.
And I can't think of a better way to end our interview today than that. That was beautiful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Oh, you're good. Thank you very much. We're here with Ryan. I saw the sleeve, and as somebody who has benefited from the disability from the DAV myself, I just had to invite you on the podcast to say, what brings you to World Beat today?
Actually, we're here. So my daughter does dance for the Sprague dance team,
That's
and
awesome.
we volunteer every year to help support the dance team for their upcoming year for their dance program.
So how important are spaces like this for that kind of a dance program?
I mean, I think it's nice for the kids to get out and see everything, see the different parts of the world, see different types of things. Like I know my girls and my kids, especially, they hate it when I wear the kilt. They absolutely hate it. I love it, and I do it partly to antagonize them, but the other part is I love doing it and wearing it because I can show my heritage too. And this is a place where it's welcoming and accepted and things like that. And, people get to see that, and they're like, "Oh, hey man, nice kilt," or "Hey, that looks cool." So.
And that's one of the beauties of this place right here, right now, is because you can come as your authentic self, and not have to worry about being judged.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, normally I don't care what people think.
That's fair.
But,
yeah.
It's more or less I don't want the kids to get too mad at me, but.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So I see the DAV on your sleeve.
Yep.
Did you serve?
I did. I was in United States Marine Corps.
How long did you serve?
I was asked to leave at 4 years.
I feel you on that one.
No, so I was aviation ordnance, MAL 13, 3rd MA out in Yuma, Arizona.
Okay.
Doing aviation ordnance. And I was re-upping. So I went in 2000, got out in 2004. So I was literally at the very beginning and middle of it. So I actually was trying to re-up and go EOD because, you have to have some kind of ordnance experience to go EOD. And I tried to put it in, but I had blown out my shoulder, and I'd had 2 surgeries while I was in for my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I presented my reenlistment papers. My master gunnery sergeant was like, "You've got 2 choices. You get out at the end of your contract, or I medically discharge you." So I was forced out, unfortunately, but because I had planned on making a career of it.
Yeah, it was almost the same storyline for me too. I joined in 98, and then 3 months before I was set to re-enlist, I had a fall in the back of a vehicle and screwed my back up something fierce. And the same kind of thing, you can't run anymore. We have no use for you.
Yeah.
And then when you got out, how hard was it to get the rating? Did they do the same sort of rating dance to you?
So it took 11 months to get my 30%.
Yeah.
Is what they initially did. I'm like, that seems way low. I was arguing with them and everything. And actually about a year ago, I finally, with the DAV's help, I went back and they upped it to 60%. But with everything that I have from being in the Corps, it probably should be a little higher, but I'm not going to argue too much at the moment. So, I'm getting things done that I need to, because I had another surgery outside of the military civilian sector, but it was through the VA. So, they've helped me. So, I can't complain too much.
I know what you mean, right? And one of the things that I have discovered in the last couple of years is that the VA now is a lot different than the VA 10 years ago.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, that it's a lot easier to get in, a lot easier because, I got a local person here in Salem now instead of having to drive up to Portland every time. They seem a little more accommodating, a little more like, okay, we need to actually fix the issue instead of just oh, I'll come back in, I don't know, 3 to 6 months.
4 years.
Let's say 6 months. Let's make it a year, So,
and it's interesting because I have a good job with really good insurance, but if I were to, and I'm having surgery next week. When I originally went through the private health insurance, it was going to be 6 months to 12 months before they could get me in.
yeah.
So then I went to the VA 2 weeks. So it's almost like the VA now is better than some private health insurances. Which is
I would. Well,
scary.
actually, the thing is they're out of the Portland VA, out of the Portland headquarters. There's no orthopedic surgeon,
Yeah.
and so I actually had to go through a local
Yeah. Same
place
here.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so they did my shoulder. They did my shoulder surgery, and they're like, "Yeah, your shoulder's screwed. You need a shoulder replacement." I was like, "Okay, cool. When should I do that?" They're like, "Oh, we're not." I was like, "What do you mean you're not?" Like, well, you have to be over 50 to do it because it'll wear out too fast. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, so what am I supposed to do for the next, 6, 7 years?
Yeah.
Live with it? I was like, I've been living with it 20 years, man. Like, just, well, suck it up some more. I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
yeah.
But that was the civilian doctor saying, like, oh, we won't do it, but whatever.
But back to this event here.
Yeah.
So in terms of like your experience so far, what has stood out? What have you enjoyed the most?
Oh, I'm a foodie, man. I am a foodie through and through. I actually introduced my wife to a lot of different stuff as far as, she'd never really had Thai food. And she's like, oh my God, I love this. I was like, I know. Well, here, let's try this. So I introduced her to Indian. And she's like, what should I get? I'm like, well, to start you off easy, let's just go, tikka masala.
Yeah.
Everybody loves tikka masala. And then she buttered, then biryani and korma. And she's like, I love this stuff because there's a nice little place out in Dallas that does really good Indian. And then the other thing is I've been looking, I haven't seen it, at least not in Oregon, Ethiopia.
There's a place well, off the air. I'll show you what it is. There is a place downtown Portland now that just opened
Oh, is
up.
there?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. See, I'm one of those people. I will try anything once.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, all right, well, this is grilled, whatever. I'm like, cool. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try it. But
legit Ethiopian is like my second favorite.
Oh, Ethiopia is so good. People dismiss it. They're like, really? Like they don't think about Ethiopian food being as good as it is, but like the spices and everything like that is so good, so rich, and and I love just the whole, taking that little piece of thing and just grabbing what you want, and yeah, it's so good. But I've been wanting to have my wife experience that with me because she's a little sheltered in her culinary experiences, and so it'd be fun to have her do that. And that's why I like these places. Like I saw the paella, I'm like, and that's what I was on my way to go get something. I'm like, should I get the paella or should I go over to the other thing? And
there's a Nigerian food stand that's on the side over here.
Oh, is there?
It doesn't look like a food stand from this side, but they do like to ball.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. And the last question I'll have is the only kind of hard question that I ask.
Okay.
Is there something about your culture or a family tradition that you love the most?
Oh, that is a
surprisingly hard question.
It is a very thought-provoking question. My tradition, my family now, like our traditions are, I grew up, I have Irish heritage, but that's many generations ago. And I've just come to rediscover it. But more my family tradition is, I grew up, my dad was a hillbilly from West Virginia, met a lady in Texas who was from California. So I'm literally a little bit of everything. But our family traditions is, this time of year, it's hunting and fishing and camping and outdoors, and it's being gone. And we actually just got back yesterday from a week-long camping fishing trip. And so with all the kids and everything. So our family tradition is getting outdoors and just being outside and exploring the rivers and hunting and tracking and fishing. And that's more the traditions that I'm passing down to my kids and teaching them, not necessarily bushcraft skills, but, getting them to kind of learn, like, hey, when we go outdoors, we go hiking, say the worst happens, we get snowed in or we get rained in or something, like, can you make it out?
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Which is a huge skill to teach.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about that. There are so many additional components.
Yeah.
To teaching that aspect of culture.
Yeah, like when to sit down and wait, when to build a shelter, when to just keep moving, where to move to, that type of thing. So, I mean, that's as far as, I don't know if that's really a cultural thing.
100% it is.
But that's the way I was raised. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the beat.
Will do.
Yeah. So welcome back, everybody. We're here with Lee and Jade. What brings you all to the World Beat today?
Yes, we have a booth here. It's called China Window. And also we have performance on Saturday and Sunday.
That's beautiful.
So we have makeup on, we have dress, and we perform dances. Yeah.
So how important is it to have spaces like this where you can celebrate your culture?
we really enjoy it because it's our festival and in Salem and it's multicultural and we enjoy all kind of culture here. Singing, dancing is really fun. Yeah.
So we have a Chinese window. We have keep the over the 20 years. So every year we enjoying that. So
all the community people,
yes,
we participate. We take turns and in the booth, and we provide all those activities for kids. And it's really, really, we really enjoy.
And how is it important for you to see your culture outside of your community?
Oh, I see. 他说你把你们的文化能够在其他的地方展现，你觉得 how important there？这多重要性？Yeah, it is. It is it's a window, and we want people to know we are Chinese, to know what the real China culture is, and it's not based on the news or whatever. Yeah. So we know people. We are ordinary people. No politician, nothing involved, and we just introduce all the good part.
We are dance and about a lot love for give the everyone and so 就是你要跟他说我们的中国文化是讲究爱大爱。
He said that trying to introduce our culture is mainly Chinese real culture is about love and not about no politics involved.
对不对？
Yeah.
我们传递了很多是中国文化里面深层的一种大爱。对。
We just introduce our big love in our culture, something like that. Yeah, we love the people. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the dance you perform.
Yeah, we dance. One dance is a 梁山伯与君台. It's a very traditional love story, and another dance is 关关雎鸠. Is about a very 关关雎鸠 about what?
About love too.
Yeah, about home country missing whatever story. All storytelling kind of dance we did. Also, we dance another dance is a Mongolia style.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, can I borrow that for just a second? I want you all to see that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we Mongolia dance. China is multi culture nation as well.
It's beautiful.
And we want those people to know real China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
China.
we're talking about people and not the government. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This whole world we are one family.
Yeah.
One world.
Yeah.
Family. Yeah. That's what we want to present.
介绍一下我们队，我们是
We are dancing. She is the lead of our dance. She is Olympian. She present the Chinese handball in 1988 in Olympics.
South Korea.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she is awesome athlete. Do you know how old she is? She's 18.
So
we won't repeat that age,
know,
folks.
But she looks like she's really muscular.
So right now we are in Salem have a Chinese dancing team. It's my team. It's almost 3 years. So our team it's a name. It's called Salem New Moon Chinese dancing team.
Yeah.
So we 这把那个跟他说一下。My English very poor. That's why.
You're fine.
I know.
Let me do. Yeah.
我们的舞蹈更多的也是把中国文化揉入到我们舞蹈里边去，然后传递给
Our dancing mainly to introduce the Chinese culture into the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And trying to people to see, let the people see it. Yeah.
And how important is it for you to have a place like this where you can just be yourself and you know it's going to be safe?
Oh, this is really nice because we have a booth, and people come over, can stand or whatever. And I think we feel where, how to say, people really accept us.
Yeah.
We are immigrants, and we know Salem is really friendly city. And during this World Beat Festival, we have a spot belong to us.
Yeah.
We feel really special. Yeah.
And one of the things that I love about Chinese culture in
Yeah.
general
Yeah.
is the sense of family
Yes.
and the sense like everybody within the culture is welcome.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Mhm.
Yes.
你再跟他介绍一下我们那个中国之窗，在这里每年承办的中国之窗已经25年。
Yeah, he said, let me say the Chinese window, that booth, we have displaying our stuff for more than 25 years. Since the World Beat started, every year we are here. Yeah. And every year we have performance. Very nice.
And what would you like people to know about the Chinese culture?
Yeah, it's we want the people to know Chinese people is not anyway.
Yeah.
Chinese is pretty Chinese people is very friendly and hardworking. Not only cooking food, but we are pretty. Chinese culture is very artist and martial arts and very hardworking and pretty. We want people know Chinese people is tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
I
both
believe.
is tall. Yeah.
But I also love how much attention to detail
Right.
your culture is.
Yes.
Like the costumes.
Yes.
Like the decorations.
Yeah.
All of the things is just so beautiful, and everything has its place and everything has its spot.
We want people to know what the traditional
Yeah.
culture is. You know, nowadays we all dress the same.
Yeah.
But we do have our own customs. We don't want to forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really nice we have a chance to display ourselves. Yeah.
我们要去演习。
We are going to go to parade. Thank you for
No
giving
problem.
us a
Thank
chance
you
to
so
do
much.
Thank you.
And we're back, everybody. We're here with Nathaniel and Faith. We're here at the World Beat. What brings you here today?
We were just walking around the park. We saw there was a thing going on. Decided to look around.
So is this your first time here?
Yes.
Oh, this is awesome. So most of the people I've talked to have been here like 6 or 7 years in a row.
Ooh.
So I would like your perspective. So like as you come in here, like what has it been like experiencing this the first time?
Having culture shock in my hometown is a little funny because it's Salem, Oregon, but there's a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
It's probably most cultures I've seen together in Salem, Oregon.
very fascinating,
Yeah.
yeah.
And why do you think it's important that we have spaces like this where we celebrate culture?
I think, especially in America, as like the melting pot or whatever, cultures getting to know about each other in the place where we all live. It's just kind of like a family bonding experience, except the
Yeah.
family is just a whole country, I guess.
How about yourself?
I'd say the same thing. It's very important to know kind of how to celebrate other people's cultures and kind of just how people live their life daily. That's different from how I live my life daily.
And I'll ask you the question I've asked everybody so far. How many frowns have you seen today?
I don't think
I don't
a
think I've seen
single
one.
None.
one.
That's a good point.
None.
None. Everyone's smiling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because this is like one of those safe spaces where you can just come and be around everybody and just be happy and enjoy the experience. Yeah. So, from your perspective, what is it like to know that there is a space where you can just be yourself and be accepted?
I think it's a blessing to have.
Yeah, I think safe places for everyone is really good. A lot of people don't have a lot of safe places
That's
they can go.
true.
For some people, it's their home. For some people, that's the unsafest place they can be. So just have a place where everyone can, get along together. It's really cool.
Have you all had a chance to get any of the food?
Not yet.
Ah,
Gotta try some.
there's
Yeah.
a taste of the world that's like $5 and you get like all kinds of
Oh.
things. Yeah. It's
That-
freaking amazing. Yeah. It's if you go down that way and that's to the right. But anyway, back to the podcast part. So from your perspective, like as you sort of walk and you see all of like the traditional dress and you see like all of the traditional cultures, have you noticed like anything that surprised you along the way?
I mean, Well,
Maybe.
I mean, with like the internet, I feel like I've seen a lot of different cultures from looking on social media. So I don't think I've seen anything like I've never seen before, but maybe in person, like I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
I
legit.
think.
yeah, I'd say kind of the same thing. You see it on like social media or on TV somewhere, but just like seeing it in person, seeing like people actually like live these lives, it's just cool to see like tangibly.
Yeah, because like so often what we see from cultures on TV doesn't necessarily reflect like the actual culture that you see.
Yeah,
Like
true.
from between you and me as people. And as somebody who is on the autism spectrum, spaces where you can be your authentic self without judgment are huge.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing that happens where a lot of people, if you're different, if you don't have the kind of right mindset, you have a lot of negativity towards things that are different than you.
Yeah.
But one thing that I have learned over the years is that we are so much more alike than we are different,
That's very true.
regardless of what our culture is.
That's very true. Yeah. And I think on the internet, we see a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah.
So being here in person, we get to see how genuine it is. Now, each person's unique in their own way.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last question that I have is the only kind of hard question that we ask on this podcast.
Awesome.
Right?
Ready?
Okay. What is one thing about your culture that you love that you want people to know?
I think my culture, I feel like because I've born and raised in America, my culture in like the melting pot, like I said earlier, it still comes from a lot of people around me, but especially growing up at a Christian home, I know that's a little rocky beginning for a lot of people. But for me, it showed me that like a lot of people say a lot of stuff about Christianity, but the moral of the story is that we're gonna love you no matter what. That doesn't necessarily mean we always like appreciate what you do, because I do dumb stuff all the time, but still gonna love everybody the same because that's why we're here, is to love.
What was the question again?
What is it? Yeah, no worries. Oh, is there something about your culture that you want people to know that you love?
See.
That is
No,
still your
no.
answer.
Kind of.
So
That
let
was a
me
really
ask it
good
a different way.
Okay.
Is there a family tradition
Ooh.
or something that you do every year as a family that you would hate to lose?
Oh, that's a good one. I think family tradition. I'd say I'm a Christian as well, and so around Christmas time, I think that's a great reminder of celebrating that Jesus was born, and every year kind of celebrating Christmas Eve and going to service, and we always like open one present every night, and I'm always excited every year for it. So I think just celebrating Christmas is a very big blessing.
Can I ask a follow-up question? As I'm always curious about this
Yes.
aspect. Who gets to pick which gift you open?
I do. I do. I think we always choose I always choose it, I think. And I normally choose the one that looks the biggest, the most
I love it.
the best one.
And yourself the same?
Of course.
Yeah.
Try to shake it. I never can guess accurately what it is, but sometimes I'm a little bit on the
I know
nose.
when it's Legos every time.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
That's like the most perfect answer ever. And then the last question for the interview is, what would you tell people who haven't been here before as to why they should come down here and experience this?
Should go.
You really should.
You're missing out big time.
Yeah. And we're about ready to start the parade, so we're going to let you go out there so you
Okay,
don't
thank
miss
you.
that. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
of course. And you all will be on YouTube on Tuesday.
Yes.
No. This one. Thank you. Shot. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
It's holding your lap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How cool is that?
They basically just going down there, they're looking around.
Oh, all right, everybody, we're wrapping up now. And what can I say other than this has been one of the most touching, refreshing experiences I have had in quite some time. The amount of love and compassion and just overall acceptance here has been nothing short of amazing. So as we round down the world beat, and as we start to focus on the next chapter of lives, I would really like to say something that I mean from the heart. May you have the ability to recognize, support, and love your own culture in whatever way you see fit. And may you have the ability to be your authentic self in any space possible. Now, I know that's not always true, that we're going to go through instances where we get those isms, right? That racism, the ableism, all of that stuff. But stay strong, folks, because only together can we make a difference. And I'll end the podcast the way I always end the podcast, folks. Be kind. We all live on the same planet. We breathe the same air, and this world would just be a little bit better of a place if we treated everybody with a little kindness and respect. This is Sean Sullivan signing off from the World Beat. And until next time, folks, peace out.